Imagine standing in an ancient temple, its marble pillars stretching toward the heavens. The scent of burning incense fills the air, and the flickering torchlight casts eerie shadows. In the heart of this sacred place, there once stood a woman, Medusa, not a monster, not a villain, but a mortal whose fate was sealed by the cruelty of the gods. Long before she was feared, Medusa was admired. She wasn't born a monster, no. She was a stunningly beautiful woman with long golden hair that shimmered like the sun. But Medusa was no ordinary maiden. She was a devoted priestess of Athena, the powerful goddess of wisdom and war. As a priestess, Medusa took a sacred vow of purity, pledging herself to serve in Athena's temple for life. But destiny had other plans, and they weren't kind. One day, the sea god Poseidon set his eyes upon Medusa. The god of storms and oceans, mighty and relentless, was drawn to her beauty. Some say he pursued her with charm, others say he took her by force. But one thing is certain, this happened inside Athena's temple, and Athena was furious. The goddess, known for her unyielding pride, saw this as an unforgivable insult, but instead of punishing Poseidon, the powerful Olympian god, she turned her wrath toward Medusa. This is where the tragedy begins. With cold fury, Athena cast her judgment. You who once were admired shall be feared. Your beauty will be your doom. In an instant, Medusa's golden locks twisted into a writhing nest of venomous serpents. Her once gentle eyes now held a horrifying power. Anyone who met her gaze would be turned to solid stone. Her cries echoed through the temple, but there was no mercy, no escape. The world that had once adored her now feared her. Banished and hunted, Medusa fled to a distant island, exiled among her monstrous Gorgon sisters, doomed to live in isolation. Years passed. Medusa, alone and cursed, became nothing more than a whispered legend, until a new player entered the story, Perseus. The young hero, son of Zeus, was sent on a deadly mission to slay Medusa and bring back her head. But how do you kill a creature that can turn you to stone with a single glance? The gods intervened. Athena, ironically, helped Perseus by giving him a polished bronze shield, one that would allow him to see Medusa's reflection without meeting her deadly gaze. Hermes, the messenger god, gifted him winged sandals to fly, and Hades granted him a helmet of invisibility. Armed with divine gifts, Perseus set out to find the Gorgon. Deep inside a dark cave, Medusa slept, her serpent hair hissing softly. Perseus, careful not to make a sound, crept forward, using Athena's shield as his guide. Then, with one swift strike of his celestial sword, Perseus beheaded Medusa. Her blood spilled across the cave floor, and from it, something incredible happened. From her severed neck, two beings emerged, Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chryser, a warrior. Medusa, even in death, gave birth to legends. Perseus took her head, knowing its power remained intact, and fled before Medusa's vengeful sisters could strike. Even after death, Medusa's gaze held power. Perseus used her severed head as a weapon, turning enemies into stone, including the sea monster Cetus and even his own foes in battle. Eventually, he gifted the head to Athena, who placed it upon her shield, the legendary Aegis, so Medusa's terrifying visage could strike fear into her enemies for eternity. But what about Medusa herself? Was she truly the villain in her own story? Or was she a victim of divine cruelty? Over time, her legend has evolved. She has been seen as a monster, a tragic figure, even a symbol of feminine rage and power. But one thing remains clear: Medusa's story is unforgettable. And that, my friends, is the true story of Medusa: beauty, betrayal, and a curse that made her a legend. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another mythological tale.